Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to share with you my favorite zinnias to grow my cut flower garden and my favorite variety of Cosmo, which I grew for the first time last year. Now, that particular seed was sent to me by mistake, but it became my favorite cut flower that I grew all year. It was just so prolific. It literally bloomed from May to October till our last frost. It was the last thing standing in my cut flower garden. They grow in clay soil that is unamended. You cannot ask for more for a flower. It's amazing. So I'm going to share that with you today. Also, a couple other zinnia varieties that I'm going to grow for the first time this year. One of them is called Ballerina Pink. A friend of mine here on YouTube, hi Jen, she grew this last year and I loved it, so I want to try too. It's kind of the color of my shirt, and I'm a sucker for anything pink. So it's going to be a fun video. We're going to warm up these winter blues and look ahead to spring and summer. And hopefully you'll like some of these cut flowers and grow them in your garden. They are fabulous for southern gardens. So let's get into it. All right, welcome to my cut flower garden on a beautiful summer day. So first up, we have Bright Lights Cosmos. This is the one that I grew the first time last year, and it was literally standing up until frost. You cannot go wrong with it. Ballerina Zinnia, this is Ballerina Zinnia right here. It's kind of a light pink. I'm adding her this year. That is a photo from Johnny Seeds. I am not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I purchased almost all of my zinnias from them. So they are a really great company. Here is how I usually have my zinnias growing. I kind of clump them by color. And then on this fence line back here, I also do them by color, starting with the reds and the oranges, and then it fades into a salmon color that I grew this year for the first time also, and some pinks. So I'm just going to go down the fence line and show you which varieties I grow with the names and all of that good stuff so that you can see how they look in real life. And most of these shots I will have my hand underneath the flower so that you can kind of see the size comparison. All of these Benary giant zinnias are very large. I find that the reds and the wine colors do really well. In fact, Benary's deep wine zinnia is one of my all-time favorites. I just love that gorgeous color. It is such a prolific bloomer. Also, they've got a deep red variety, which you will see coming up here. It's a little bit more of a fire engine red or true red. It's also an extremely great performer, very prolific bloomer, very strong plant. And of course, they're all going to get a little bit of black spot if you're growing them in the south like I do, but we just take the good with the bad. That's later on in the season. Benary's Giant Purple is a beautiful performer in my garden as well. She's usually a little bit smaller than the reds as far as bloom size, but a fabulous prolific bloomer. And then I grew this kind of salmony colored zinnia for the very first time. It is also a Benary's Giant, and the actual name for it is Benary's Giant Salmon Rose. I thought it was a gorgeous shade. It was a very strong plant as well. Honestly, all the Benary's Giants are. And it gave me 3 or 4 different shades of kind of like a peachy tone. Behind it, I put the classic Benary's Giant Bright Pink. They are a little bit smaller for whatever reason of a bloom for me too versus the reds that I grow and the purple, but still an outstanding cut flower. And then I added some purple coneflower this year. You might have remembered this if you guys watched my videos back in the summer, but they're babies, as you can see here. But I'm hoping they're going to really fill out this area and be great cut flowers for me as well. All right, then the opposite side of my cut flower garden, I usually do 2 rows, sometimes 3 rows back here. This is where I grew the Cosmo Bright Lights, and this was a little bit earlier in the season, so they were not 6 to 7 feet tall yet, but they got to be about 7.5 feet tall, maybe 8 feet. They were monsters, and I love them. We'll be growing more. On this side, I did all of my oranges and my yellows, and I didn't plant a ton of Benary's golden yellow. As you can see, this one right here, I just had a few, but here they are. They were a great color as well, but my real favorite in this bed is the Benary's Giant Orange, and I plant a ton of them because I like to use them for bouquets in late summer, early fall, which they're still going for me at that time. Now, if you're really, on your game, you'll plant 2 successions at least of zinnia seeds, and that way they look really fresh towards the end of fall. I did not. I just kept the same ones going. So, they did get a little bit raggedy towards the end of the season, but I just, like most people do, strip all the leaves off of them when I make bouquets, and that way you really can't tell that they are suffering from black spot. We also throw some sunflowers into the cut flower garden. This was one of just the giant sunflowers, the gray striped, that I grew, and they were really fun. My kids love to see those. This year I plan to grow some more sunflowers. They're tricky because I have to cover them with netting to keep, the squirrels from eating them. Right below the sunflower, I had Oklahoma white zinnias growing. I had never grown these particular, not the pink one, that's a Benary's Giant Bright Pink, but these guys right here, they're kind of like a button head. Honestly, they had some of the worst black spot for me. They're gorgeous plants, but I'm just saying in my garden, Benary's Giants really performed better. These did get black spot quicker for whatever reason. I also grow the Rubenza Cosmo that you see here. This is a gorgeous color as well, kind of like a wine color. It gives you 3 or 4 different shades on the plant. She's a pretty great performer in my garden as well, but still the Cosmo Bright Lights, they're going to take first place because they continue to pump out blooms the entire growing season and got to be about, like I said, 8.5 feet or so tall. They were just monsters. You could see them from acres away. We love a plant that does that. I'm just going to show you a wide shot really quick here of my vegetable garden and cut flower garden so you can kind of get your bearings if you haven't seen it before. I put my tomatoes in the middle, and then I grow squash and cucumbers in front of those, and I have my raised beds with sweet potatoes in front of those. I've got a sweet potato patch over on the side, but this is where I put all of my cut flowers and my vegetables. They're up here on this big hill. And as you can see, I have netting that goes all the way around the vegetable garden, and I just use Deer X netting, and I use bamboo stakes with a certain size barrel clip from Amazon. I've got a video on that if you're looking for something that is inexpensive to keep deer out of your vegetable garden. I will link the video in the description if you're interested in checking that out. It is what I have used for years and years until I can get a fancy garden fence up here. And here's how some of these Benary's Giants look in some bouquets and arrangements that we put together, along with some sunflowers occasionally. But these are just really fun for the home gardener, and they are really great plants to grow. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you liked today's video. And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I will see you back here next time in the next video right here at the Real Southern Garden. Bye, guys.